now 12 minutes after the 12th hour in Guyana, and you're listening to Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. In your news today, ExxonMobil Corporation and its partners in the Stabroek Block are more than ready to relinquish 20% of the oil-rich concession located approximately 120 miles offshore Guyana. This was confirmed by Hess Corporation's CEO John Hess during his participation at the 51st Annual Scotia Howard Whale Energy Conference. Hess was keen to assure investors at the event that the portion of the block being returned to the state will have zero effect on its exploration or development plans, as it is not going to be in any prospective area. He also stressed that the relinquishment should not be misconstrued to mean that the government is forcing the company to do this. Hess said it is in keeping with arrangements enshrined in the PSA for the block. Hess said in the PSA there is a requirement to relinquish 20% of the block, adding that there is talk potentially having been with Vice President Bharat Jagdeo that the 2023 date for relinquishment might be a 2024 date. And Guyana's production sharing agreement with ExxonMobil and their partners in the Stabroek Block is constructed in such a way that it is in fact disguising the true cost to produce a barrel of oil from its fields. Under the PSA, the operator is allowed to recover up to 75% of all oil produced daily, minus what is used as part of the operations to be used as cost recovery, meant to retire initial spendings, as well as the costs associated with the daily operations. The remaining 25% is then divided evenly and classified as profits, while 2% of all oil produced and sold is paid to the state as royalty. In the absence of a ring-fencing provision, however, coupled with the manner with which the entities report financial information to the public, the true cost to produce a barrel has been veiled. The assertion was made pellucid recently by Professor C. Kenrick Hunt in a recent public missive where he observed that since oil has been extracted and exported from Guyana, there has been no financial statements provided to the public by ESSO. And the truck driver involved in the horrific accident at Greenwich Park, East Bank, Essequibo, which claimed the lives of 4 persons, was on Thursday charged and remanded to prison. The driver, 38-year-old Ewart Stewart of Stewartville, West Coast, Demerara, made his first court appearance in the Lenora Magistrates Court before Magistrate Zemina Ali Sipal, where 5 charges were read to him. Stewart was yesterday slapped with 4 counts of causing death by dangerous driving and having an uninsured and uncertified vehicle. And in other news, 44-year-old Robin Nadata Simon, a housewife of Haslington, East Coast, Demerara, is the latest person to be charged for the alleged acts of terrorism at the Monrepo Market, which occurred last year. Simon made her first court appearance at the Sparanda Magistrates Court on Thursday before Magistrate Alicia George, where the charge was read to her. She was not required to plead to the charge and was granted bail in the sum of $250,000 with the condition that she lodge her passport and reports every fortnight to the Coven John Police Station. The matter was adjourned to March 28 for report. And on the heels of Philippines officials dealing with the aftermath of an oil spill that was as a result of a fuel tanker sinking, the mayor of one of the towns have confirmed that residents are falling ill. The Philippines is a country located in Asia. It is situated in the western Pacific Ocean and consists of over 7,000 islands that are broadly categorized under 3 main geographical divisions. CNN's Kathleen Magramo, reporting from Hong Kong, stated that Jennifer Cruz, mayor of the coastal town of Pola, which has been heavily affected by the spill, told CNN affiliate on Thursday that more than 50 residents had fallen ill with symptoms of cough, dizziness, eye irritation, and fever. And just before we head to a short break, let's tell you police are investigating the death of a 51-year-old man who was on Wednesday found dead in a drainage canal near his home at Ogle, East Coast, Demerara. The dead man was identified as Vedanandan Kemraj, a driver. His body was found around...
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. With news coming out of Washington, D.C. as the COVID-19 pandemic enters its third year in the region of the Americas, Pan American Health Organization Director Dr. Jarbas Barbosa has called on countries to strengthen surveillance and bridge gaps in vaccination coverage to end the emergency and better prepare for future health crises. Over the past 3 years, the Americas had over 190.3 million COVID-19 cases and over 2.9 million deaths, accounting for 25% and 43% of the global total, respectively. The pandemic underscored that no country or organization in the world was fully prepared for the impact of this pandemic, so said Dr. Barbosa during a media briefing on Thursday. This includes the Americas, which is a region marked by inequities. Meanwhile, the Guyana Elections Commission has set April 17th as nomination day for local government elections to be held on June 12th this year. This means all parties, organizations, and individuals that intend to contest this year's local government elections must submit their symbol for approval by GCOM. In an advertisement carried in the local newspapers, GCOM announced that those desirous of participating in the elections have up to 21 days before nomination day to submit their symbol to be used on the ballot paper. The Elections Commission said that those political parties, groups, or individuals that have already submitted symbols based on the previous deadline do not need to resubmit their symbols. And money laundering, terrorism financing, and the financing of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction have a negative effect on the economy. These reprehensible crimes directly and indirectly contribute to the erosion of the rule of law, threaten political instability, encourage corruption, and weaken the financial sector. With this in mind, the government of Guyana has sought over the years to assess the threats of money laundering, terrorist financing, and financing of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. In other news, the PPPC government is currently in talks with several big companies in the energy sector to train some 500 Guyanese women to operate heavy-duty machines in the mining and oil and gas sectors. President Ali on Wednesday evening said the future undertaking would allow the participants to earn an average salary of $350,000. The president made the statement as he addressed a large gathering of women that joined him and First Lady Arya Ali for dinner in recognition of International Women's Day 2023 at State House. The administration will continue to work and provide the necessary resources to lessen the burdens on the nation's women. And on that note, we turn the pages of today's Kaieteur News and end our newscast by getting a little blunt. The promise to cut things in half. Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has famously claimed that with the new gas energy plant his government is pursuing will cut electricity charges in half. He has never held a press conference on the matter to show this nation how the investment will cut electricity in half. Everything is going to cut in half for him. This has been his tune since he was president to now. The Skeldon plant should have cut sugar price by half. Where is that today? All we know is that huge debts remain on every Guyanese. The money he spent already at the Guyana Power and Light, if you count it up, it can give the entire USA free electricity, not cut it by half. The Enmore packaging plant that never packaged sugar to make back the money they said they invested there, look where it is today. The government was forced to close it down and give away the land to a man for next to nothing. Now look at the water Guyanese are forced to drink in this country and check the money the PPPC government spent. With such investments, every Guyanese should have been drinking the purest water on earth. What else? Look at the Amila Falls hydro project. Jagdeo, when he was president, was going to throw this monster on us. The world was paying $1 million per megawatt, and he was going to saddle this nation with almost $7 million per megawatt since 2007. He wanted to bring it back the other day at almost $4 million per megawatt and was telling us a Chinese firm will own it and sell us electricity when the world is paying $1 million per megawatt.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
It's Friday, March 10th. It's time for the National Outlook on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I'm G.H. Gillal. It's been my privilege to share with you this past week and over a year, I think almost 2 years, that we've been doing this program, and I hope that it has been making you think. It's been making you pause and run things over in your mind. Not here to attack anybody, not here to make any points, just to share with you matters of concern that come out in the news and give my take on where I think things should be and should not be. Last Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago, not this week, the Vice President held a press conference, and towards in a part of it he said, well, for 100 years, Trinidad has been in the oil and gas business, my words. And why not go there? And nobody was alarmed then, and nobody was concerned then. And this is about crocodile tears. And we're coming down on Guyana, and we're cherry picking. I think that was the general sense of where he stood. And I find that pretty baffling. I think it's amazing coming out of a former president. We are concerned about what is happening here in Guyana. I am not concerned about that my neighbors down the line, son might be cheating on his exams, or the father might be doing on-the-hand business. I am concerned about my family towing the line. I'm concerned that my children go to school and work hard and study hard, and the results they get, CXC, CAPE, whatever, that they have earned it. They have earned it. And when I do some work, that I'm doing it honestly, on a principled basis. I could care less about what the other guy is doing. He is responsible for him. So Trinidad was responsible and is responsible for itself as a sovereign nation. And we are responsible. We have a duty to our people to do the best possible thing for them. So for the Vice President to rail up and to take objection to when people call him out and say, we need more protection in our oil and gas sector. We need more transparency in the information that's coming out of the oil and gas and mining sector. And we need more clarity, and we need more of this, and we need more of that. Instead of going on a high horse and getting offended or pretending to be offended, because I think he knows where the gaps are and they're huge, he should really the government, I urge, should really try to work with people, but you can only work with people if the government is straight.
if the government is sincere. And I do not think that this government is either straight or sincere. And that is what comes across. So it's on the defensive. So people who are on the defensive, they lash out. Look, 100 years ago, we weren't talking about environmental safety. We weren't talking about political correctness. We could use any slur in the world. We called people any names that came to our mind. We insulted women. We killed all the elephants and the lions in the world. At least the white people did that. And they ran over people and enslaved them. That was accepted. That was accepted or thought of as Christian. So today it's a different story. People who are held as heroes are no longer looked upon as such. What went on before is not accepted at all. It's not. You can't even look at somebody in the face who's a liar and a thief and a dog and call him a liar, a thief, or a dog. That's how hypocritical we have become. That's how hypocritical and false we have become. So for us to look at Trinidad, that's Trinidad's business. I'm looking at Guyana. What's going on here? For the opposition, the AFC leader, Mr. Ramjatan, who's also another wise guy, smart guy, to say, if you all want to change the contract, form your own party. He told Christopher Ram that. What kind of foolishness is that from a national leader? Where are they getting off, the vice president and the AFC leader, with things like that? That is below their dignity, below their standing. Tell us what you can do for Guyana, my brothers. Tell us how true you are, how real you are about getting the best out of this oil bonanza that we've gotten. And I will be your best friend. I will be your spokesperson without you paying me a dime or without you saying the word. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook, and do have a wonderful weekend.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Baby, shake your bum bum. Shake your bum bum. Bum bum bidam bum bum. Work your bum bum. Move your bum bum. Roll your bum bum. Bum bum bidam bum.
Shake your bum bum, shake your bum bum, shake your bum bum, shake your bum bum, walk your bum bum, your bum bum, walk your bum bum, your bum bum. Slim chick, anything goes. Thunder in your bumper, everything rolls. I don't have to tell you, you know you're a champion. Shake your bum bum. I like to see the girls work on the beat here. And when the cold queens work on the beat here. For real tonight I'm feeling lucky than a leap here. Baby that have to put a man in a wheelchair. And if you tell you turn it up, Mr. DJ, I make the girls put sexy on replay. Latina, Caribbean, Africa, the railway. You ain't got it, go and get it on eBay.
Shake your bum bum. Shake your bum bum. Bum bum bidam bum bum. Work your bum bum. Sexy in front of me. Must admit that I like what I see. The way you dance, when you whine, I just wanna come up from behind. And all your